We are born crying, and most of us die alone. We spend our lives searching for meaning in a meaningless universe, desperately trying to leave a legacy that will live long after we've turned to dust. But everything we build, everything we create, everything we are will one day be destroyed. Not just our bodies, our minds, our consciousness, even our species, our whole bloody species will die. It's easy to think of life as a single arrow shot from the bow of time, relentlessly racing forward towards inevitable oblivion. But look more closely. Life isn't just a straight line, it's a fractal branching ever outward. Each choice, every decision reverberates across our body, echoing through the chambers of our heart, the circuits of our brain, even the particles that make up our skin. They're all linked together by an invisible thread woven through the tapestry of life, connecting birth to death and back again. We are always, always dying. And paradoxically, we are also always being born. There are three constants in life: change, suffering, and death. Welcome to Life Noggin. In the final moments before becoming an embryo, a zygote divides for the first time. It's a miraculous moment. One cell becomes 2, then 4, 8, 16. Cells divide furiously over the next few weeks, building the foundations of your arms, legs, organs, bones, and muscles. But not all cells are destined to grow up. While some build new tissue, others sacrifice themselves so that those around them can thrive. These cells die by apoptosis, or programmed cell death. It's a necessary part of development. Entire populations of cells vanish. Webbed hands become fingers. The brain wires itself. Webbed feet retract into toes. Death sculpts life. The first time we see it, we don't understand what's happening. A butterfly emerges from its chrysalis, wings wet and crumpled. It pumps fluids into its limbs, expanding its skin, stretching its wings until the shell splits and the creature inside dies. All that remains is another tiny caterpillar, hungry and ready to eat. By killing the old self, the animal is reborn again, for the first time. It seems like death is a way out, an escape. It must be that simple, right? Just kill the old you and you get a brand new shiny you. Too bad it doesn't work like that. As much as we hate to admit it, death is just as much a part of life as breathing. You can't have one without the other, because while some cells are born, others die. That's why you stop growing after puberty. Your skeleton stops lengthening, your organs stop getting bigger, your metabolism slows down, you start losing hair, and when you look back on the person you used to be, you feel like a stranger. Who was that weird, awkward kid? Where did they go? What happened to them? They died, but it wasn't just the you of the past who died. It's also the you of the future. Once upon a time, you were on track to keep growing, keep changing. One day you would retire, then you'd move into a home with a nice garden. Maybe you'd travel, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you'd have kids, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you'd die young. So many possibilities, so many paths not taken. With every second that passes, there are fewer and fewer futures ahead of you. Eventually, only the now remains. We spend our whole lives chasing the future, never realizing that we're losing the now. So when we say we're going to do something tomorrow, we're really saying we're going to do it on the other side of death. And since we can never cross that bridge, we probably won't go anywhere. But here's the thing. It's okay to talk about death. It's okay to think about death. Actually, it's more than okay. It's vital. Because understanding death allows us to appreciate life. So let's take a moment to truly appreciate life. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, death. Back inside the womb, tucked away in the safety of your mother's belly, your cells are silently counting down. Each time a cell divides, its protective caps get shorter. They're called telomeres, and they sit at the ends of your chromosomes like little plastic tips on shoelaces. Without these caps, your genetic material unravels and your cells can't divide anymore. This is senescence. The cell grows old and time catches up. Some animals seem to defy this biological clock, like the naked mole rat, which can live twice as long as mice. Even our own cells have ways to cheat the system. Cancer cells ignore the clock altogether, doubling and redoubling until their protective telomeres are worn completely away, and they collapse in on themselves. But cancer is just an extreme example of what happens to all of us. One day, suddenly tragically, a cell's lifespan runs out and the body grows old. It might be easy to think of this process as something random, chaotic, and uncontrollable. After all, who decides when a cell's lifespan is up? How do our bodies know when to shut down? But here's the thing. Everything is predetermined by our genes. Our bodies don't just fall apart because they grow old. They fall apart because our cells have a lifespan coded into their DNA. And while some cells last only a few days, others live for decades. All of us begin with about 200 trillion cells. But as we age, their number dwindles. Skin cells die, nerve cells shrivel, muscle cells atrophy. Organs wear out, bones turn to dust. Time ticks by like a funeral dirge. We lose trillions of cells a day, but we don't notice because we're too busy gaining new ones. There's a constant turnover of tissues, constant replacement, repair. We're walking ecosystems, teeming with life. As long as cells continue dividing, we can keep repairing the damage done by the world around us. If a cut appears on our skin, new cells rush to the wound, patching it up. If a virus invades, white blood cells spring into action, killing the invader and replacing the damaged cells. We're constantly in motion. We're constantly rebuilding ourselves from the inside. But what happens when the constant turnover slows down? When the constant repair fails? What happens when death starts to win? Our cells are perfect machines, but they're also fragile things that can break down. Sometimes that breakdown is random, but often it's caused by the very forces that allow us to exist in the first place. Like gravity, the more massive an organism is, the more force it exerts on its atoms and molecules, and the more likely those structures are to fall apart. And when our cells fall apart, we fall apart with them. Atoms break free of their chemical bonds. They become unstuck, untethered. They rust. They corrode. We are physical beings made of physical parts. And if those parts stop working, we stop working. But we're also something more than our individual cells. We're a colony of trillions of cells working together as a single organism. We're superorganisms, and we couldn't exist without death. Our cells need to die so that we can be born again. Without this cycle, we'd be trapped forever in the prison of our own bodies. No healing, no growth, no existence at all. So how does the cell decide when it's time to die? Well, actually it doesn't. Instead, our cells are built to die. Every time a cell divides, it copies its DNA so that each daughter cell has a complete set of instructions. But this copying process is imperfect. Mistakes happen. Over billions of years, our DNA has accumulated errors that tell cells when to die. And as long as the code holds, life goes on. But the bigger an organism gets, the more vulnerable its genome becomes. The longer an organism lives, the more likely its code is to fracture. One broken gene, and a cell refuses to die, turning cancerous. Another broken gene, and a cell dies too quickly, causing degeneration. The genome holds both the brilliance of life and the seeds of decay. Maybe one day we'll find a way to rewrite that code, to extend our lifespans indefinitely. Maybe one day we'll achieve immortality. Or maybe that's not the point. Maybe the meaning of life isn't in escaping death, but in living within it, in accepting our mortality. From the first heartbeat to the last breath, we live suspended between creation and destruction. The miracle is not in escaping death, but in living within it. Thank you for watching this episode of Life Noggin. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, remember, keep thinking.